damn phones. Babylons can't crack the code.
Welcome to B-MoneyTrading. So this is where I ended the day, down about $14.60%, a little over 0.5% down, and I am down overall for the week, a little under 4%, about $94.50. Just gonna round it, and I've been more focused. I did add 200 to my account today, so that's why you see it at 2,315.04. I added Nvidia. It had a major sell-off, which was the big news today, and I bought in a bit high, but it basically had made its big move down. I don't believe it's going to go down much further. So I took one share. It's making up a little over 7% of my account, and I'm down $4.50. Not bad. And then I added one share with what I had left out at 200 to CGC, and I bought it at $35. Even one share. Here, show you this. I'm trying to make this video quick. Go down. There we go. So $35, and then I'm down $63.64, almost a little over 14%. And this is a long-term trade, as well as with ACB, the marijuana stocks. It's not if, but when are they going to go up and you see a big move in them. And I know it's just a matter of time, and timing the market is tough as is, and so by me doing this, it puts me in a position to take some risk, but low risk, and the reward is highly anticipated with a good reward and low risk. And yeah, there is, on each of these positions, there is a point that I will sell, that I'm only willing to take so much of a loss on it, and then it's time to get out and save what capital I have and maybe get back in at a lower price if it starts to show signs of reversal. Now, but I've been staying focused on the overall market, and see here, and I've talked about it in previous videos, and I say it every time I post, that these are key price points that I believe traders are watching, and I want to see it break above the 274 and close above it. It got close. I mean, on technically it did not, as we can see here, that the close of this candle, well, I guess it did. It closed above 274.04, just barely. I was hoping it'd have a little bit more distance, closer to like the 274.50 area or above. Thinking that we will see it come and test this 275 Monday. Nvidia had a big sell-off, which was the big news, and I bought a share, which we covered. And then I was gonna go ahead and add something on. So for the new traders, and I saw a guy post on Facebook about, he tries to buy the dip and it keeps dipping, and he doesn't know what he's doing wrong. And that's the whole reason behind this channel and why it's been created, is to give you insight on what's going on in the market. Being new, you don't realize, and you're not expected to realize all of what's going on and how games are being played. Basically, like, the market is a high stakes video game, and people manipulate it. They find ways to get around certain things that people aren't aware of, which they don't call breaking the rules, but bending the rules, I guess you could call it. And so basically, part of trying to day trade, if you're a new trader, is level 2. And this is just as like another indicator, like you would have on any other chart, such as the chart here, that I have RSI, MACD, volume, volatility, standard deviation, all these things. The EMA averages, the 9, 20, and 180. I think I have, no, I guess I took the 50 off, and the VWAP. VWAP's a real popular indicator amongst day traders. And I would say traders in general, but more so day traders focus on it a lot and use strategies around it. And so moving on. So what happens when you see level 2 and you're new and you think, I'm going to basically trade on price action, just watching prices, asks and bids and share size. Well, say for example, like Warren Buffett accumulated, I forget how many shares of JP Morgan. Now, do you think he just said, I got this much money and I want this many shares? No, what he did, which I would expect, or anybody that's accumulating a good size of a stock and trying to keep quiet about it so that they can get the best average cost on all their shares, is what they would do is, I would put, bid here saying, I'll pay $6.37. A few people may sell into it. Maybe I have to go up to $6.40 and then some people sell into it, but I don't have a whole bunch, say 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, right? And then, the price might start going up. And so having such a big account, commissions are nothing. So, he may wait, and then once it comes back down, buy a few more. But once it gets a good size, say, 100,000 shares or whatever, then what happens once price goes up? Well, now he can really start accumulating because he already has a good size and he knows that he's one of the big players in the stock, on this day. And so what he'll do is something will come up and prices start going up. And so what he does is he puts a big ask saying, I want to sell at 641, and when his average cost is like 637, it may be cheaper. This is just hypothetical, showing you the games that are being played. And so he'll put up an ask, say for 641, 100,000 shares. So he's trying to sell 100,000 shares at 641. So basically what traders would call that is he's putting up a wall, because how many people it's going to take to buy all that out before the price starts going up even more. And so what happens is everybody that's above him and has their ask for, say, 645, 650, 655, whatever, and they may be day traders, they may be swing traders, more than likely day traders, but they'll go ahead and lower their ask to 640 or something, because they know it's going to take forever, and so they'll just go ahead and take what they can get before price goes down any further, or they'll start selling into this, right? And so it starts going down, and it gets down to 630, and all of a sudden you see that ask go away, and then you see a bid over here for 638, and he's one above this, and so people start selling into it, or these people are back down now to 638, and so he'll buy a few and buy them out, and all of a sudden you see him pop back up at 641, and so people are like, what the hell? I thought this guy was gone. It's going to take forever now for price and that's one of the things people play on in the market is patience, and they know that it's rare to find people that have the patience, and especially when they're down on a trade, to continue to stay down. But if they manage their account right and their strategies right, then they can withstand it, and they become less likely to take a loss, if anything a big loss. They're more likely to take a small loss, if anything, which is not going to damage their account, but it gives them more endurance and tolerance towards price and the movement in price and the true average range, or average true range. And so what happens is he'll keep accumulating, doing the simple method of putting up this wall, and see. So you see somebody may try and come in and say, well, I bet you I can get this guy to move. And so they'll start buying up those shares, and you'll start seeing this 100,000 drop down to 95,000 to 90,000, and all of a sudden you'll see him go away, because he doesn't want to sell all of his shares at that price. He was just trying to drive price back down, and so then he'll wait, for the next day or whatever, and so he'll continue to try to manipulate it. And people do this back and forth. That's why they say it's like a fight between the bulls and the bears. You get the people that have big accounts, that can move a stock, not the market necessarily, but help move the stock in a certain direction and create, momentum. And then you have the people with the small accounts that are trying to ride the coattails of the people with the big accounts. And basically they're using patterns, they're trying to scout, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, they buy in right here at 641, and then all of a sudden at 643, some huge seller pops up, and you're like, well, there goes $10 or $20 in commissions, however much, depending on the share size you took, because this is going to take forever, and now there's and so I'm more likely to lose money now than I am to make money, so I need to go ahead and sell and get out of this trade. And then you see that guy disappear, and then it goes up, and then and so it's it's part of the psychology that goes behind it too, and that's what makes it so tough. You ever ask yourself as a new trader, why is it so easy to lose money and so hard to make money? Some would say this just because of how the human nature is built, the psychology behind it, fear versus greed, and the emotions, and the inability to think rational when it's actual real money on the line. And I've always wondered that from time to time. Why is it so hard to consistently make money, but it's so easy to consistently lose money? You can call it unlucky, or you call it whatever you want, but that's part of why, being new, I'm big on learning how to manage risk above all, and not just know what a good risk to reward ratio is, but actually manage it. Knowing and managing are two different things. And I think a lot of traders fall short in that aspect. To be honest, lately I've been getting this itch to go back to day trading, at least do like one day trade and sell like maybe a quarter of my account and have about a quarter of it of capital to day trade with. But that's just that's not good. That's just not a good strategy for me. It's not what the strategy and technique that I'm using to build up this account so that I can get over the PDT rule. And I may sound harsh that I bash on day traders a lot in this, in my postings and whatnot, and it's not that, but these people with the small accounts that are new, I try to stress upon them how difficult it really is going to be to grow that. And that you see these people sell these programs, these so-and-so stock picks, and these something trading programs, and this and that, and you have to understand, like, these people have been doing it for a long time. Even a certain person, they talked about how they inherited some money, like, I forgot, it was like around $100,000 something, and so they decided they were going to start day trading. And it wasn't until they got down to about having like $30,000 left before they finally caught on and started making it back. Now, do you have that kind of money to learn how to day trade? More than likely you'll end up losing so much that you get out of it before you even had a chance to actually succeed. And I keep reiterating it. They say it takes the average new trader 18 months just to get around the learning curve, to really start to catch on to how the stocks move, and price action, and the indicators, and how to read these things, and manage risk, and find good trades. And so anyhow, I'm coming up on about 15 minutes in this recording, so I don't want to take much longer. But these are just some things for the new trader to take into account, that people manipulate stocks. And so when it comes to day trading, why it's so tough, and why people choose to scout rather than do the all-day hold, is because unless there's like news that come out on it, some type of fundamental, and the technicals line up with it, then it's really tough to take on that kind of risk. And there's certain people that have strategies that they'll do all day holds, to where they'll find something by kind of once the market kind of calms down after open, they might get into the open range breakout or breakdown, and then they'll scale out throughout the day and take profit until they're finally out of their whole position. And there's just a lot of different techniques, and you see these people selling them like they invented them. And basically, a lot of things that you would take and learn in these classes, you can learn on YouTube. You just have to know what to ask, and that's kind of what inspired this channel, is to help to help you learn, but more importantly, help prevent you from making beginner, costly mistakes, if that makes sense. That there are beginners that make these easily avoidable mistakes, and if they not just watched my videos, but watched multiple YouTubers that trade, that they would see and learn, and so that maybe they could save themselves some money down the road, so that way it's that much less to become, it costs them that much less time and less profit to get back to where they started initially when they learned how to trade. And anyhow, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I hope everyone has a good weekend. I might have time this weekend to do like a video on a certain thing, but there's still so many different things to learn in the market, and just alone on level 2 and the games people play, that they can actually like put out orders to hide a certain amount of their actual order, like a certain percentage. So basically, like, this guy is asking for 8,600 shares, and they say add 2 zeros, all right, and then this guy's asking for 100, 800, 2,000, 3,000, and so basically that's what it's showing. But he, depending on his broker, he might be able to put in his order and have the option to I forget what they call it, but basically they're hiding. They're only showing like there's still they still have to show a certain percentage of their true order, but they're not showing the whole order of what they want. So this guy might really want 15,000 or 20,000 shares at 641, but he's only showing 8,600. And so these people on the bid think, you know what, we're going to drive the price up. I'll keep accumulating. I'm going to buy this guy out, and we're going to, once we get past this, break this wall, that's what you call it, because he's putting up a larger order than the people over here. And so they'll start buying it out, and you start seeing all these, cells go through green. And the green basically means that the transaction went through on the ask, that people were willing to pay what people were asking for it. And then in the red means basically the people decide, I'll just go ahead and sell for whatever the bid is, I just want to get out. And so it gives you an idea of which way the market's going to go, but it can switch in blink of an eye the direction it's going to go, and all of a sudden go on a run, especially if news comes out right in that second. But anyhow, so sum it all up, so these people start trying to buy this guy out, and you see all these transactions going through, but his number's still staying the same at 8,600 shares, but yet you keep seeing 500, 200, 300, 600, 700, and it's not moving. And so then if you're watching the time of sells, then this guy's hiding his order, unless this is like a $46, 41 5, so basically 5/10 of a penny or whatever, and someone jumped in front. But then even then, if someone jumped in front of them, still it wouldn't. Basically people are trying to buy him out, and it's not moving because he has a hidden order, that this isn't his true full order that he wants to sell. And so you see this number stay the same, and you start seeing all these sales going through 641, and this is just as a hypothetical situation, and his number staying the same. And so then all of a sudden you start to see the buying drop off, and you start seeing it go red, because people start from down here start jumping below him and become willing to sell to down here, and you see the price go down. And then this guy might hop out and start accumulating more, or maybe he's really just wanting to get rid of all of his shares at that price, and that's all he's willing to take for it, and he's in no big hurry because he has a huge account and he can outwait this people with the small accounts, because his 20,000 shares that he's secretly trying to sell only makes up 5% or 10% or 20% of his account or whatever his strategy is, but it's not his whole account, unlike a lot of the people that day trade on small accounts that are putting in 80% of their account on a trade. This guy, it's only 20%, so he can wait. That's one of the things he has to his advantage, and that's one of the things that new traders don't realize, that account size matters. So your ability to take on a loss and how much of a loss you can take versus if you have a small account. This guy can wait it out. He's in no hurry. He still has another 90% of his account that he can trade with, while this one just sits and waits. And eventually, especially with it being like a marijuana stock, he knows eventually it's going to come up, and so he's just going to wait it out. And in the meantime, he'll use another 10% of his account and day trade something else while he has this order and just waiting so that he can take profit on it. And see, these are the things that new traders don't realize and don't build their strategy around. They think they can just hop in and hop out and bam, 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 gonna make money that easy. And then they go live, and then they start to see the harsh reality of it. They have a few lucky trades and make some money and whatnot, but then it's just a matter of time before you see that post of, I don't know what to do, I'm already down X amount, do you think it's going to come back up anytime soon, should I go ahead and take the loss, or should I just wait it out? And the problem is they want to get out of it because that's all the money they have. Until it goes back in their favor, they just have to hold on to that trade. And basically they don't get the patience to do that. They need to be in a trade every day, all day, if possible. And that's just part of being new, that you're excited and you feel like you always got to be in a trade, and it's always, you always got to be watching the market, buying and selling, and that's common amongst being new to traders. And I think the sooner it wears off, the more you mature as a trader, when you can just walk away from the computer and not have that itch to trade, but that you can go and live the rest of your life and know that you might have taken a small hit for that day, but you didn't start revenge trading, and you'll just come back tomorrow and you'll make it back. But if you stay at that computer and revenge trade, then the chances of you making that back become less likely, and the time it's going to take to make it back become that much more. And I'm guilty of that. I've been there and done that. Got a t-shirt and a coffee mug, and it's one of the things that you start learning about yourself as a trader, and the emotions and what it means when they say revenge trade, that you've taken a loss on a trade, and so now you're quick to hurry and jump in another trade to make that money back before the end of market. And and what happens is you're not thinking clearly, and you just jump in, and then you take another loss, and then you get really pissed off. And so then you say, you know what, I'm gonna go in twice as big on this next trade, and I'll make back what I lost on both of those trades and then some. And then you do that, and you take, it wouldn't be a big loss, but it's a big loss because you doubled your position. You might have only taken 20 cents per share loss, but now because you've doubled your position, it's a big loss now compared to the other times when you took 20-cent loss. It was only on half of that position you took previously. And so this probably doesn't, I don't know, hopefully, like I say, hopefully this helps. I don't expect it to help everybody, but hopefully it helps somebody. Because these are things that I've experienced, and like you see in the description of the video, I'm not here to teach you how to trade a certain pattern or sell you some program, some teaching program. I'm just here to teach you, to help you realize things that are going on in the market and that you need to prepare yourself for, so that you can develop a strategy yourself that is conducive to your personality, your financial situation, your emotional situation, your psychological situation, because you can learn all these different techniques from different traders and stuff, but if you don't have the kind of psychology and the kind of tolerance and stamina to risk and losses and being down a certain percent and still being able to hold or to add on to that position, or it's already gone up X amount percent, but their strategy calls for adding on now because it went up X amount percent, but you don't feel comfortable doing it, or you feel like every time you do it, you end up taking a loss. and he does it. Even if he takes a loss, he's fine because he has a huge account and you don't. And that's a lot of things you'll run into when you go take these classes and follow these traders and these chat groups, is the losses they can take them because they have a huge account and you don't. And so you sized up too big, and their huge loss is not a huge loss compared to what you took was a huge loss in your account. You decimated and lost 20% of your account in that one trade, while they lost 2% of their account in that one trade. Big difference. So a lot of times that's why I focus on percentages and not so much the dollar value. That will come as the account either grows or gets smaller. And so, with that said, I guess I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And I guess that would be kind of a good topic as far as making a video this weekend on, is talking about the games played in level 2 and versus small account and big account and different people's strategies, and what the new trader needs to realize at what disadvantage they are by having a small account, because at a small account you're trying to grow it rapidly, and in order for you to do that you have to size up and basically throw a huge portion of your account into whatever trade, while someone that already has a big account, they can put 20% of their account in it and make double the returns that you would make if you put your whole account in that position, and they're only taking on a small amount of risk versus you're taking on a lot, because that's your whole account. For them, that's only 20% of their account. And like I was saying earlier about ACB, they might have this amount, 8,600 shares that they're willing to sell only at 641, and the price starts going down, but they know in due time it's going to come back up because it's a marijuana stock, and things are getting legalized, and we're starting to go in a totally different direction in society as a whole, in America and Canada, that it's becoming legal and acceptable amongst people in public and in social gatherings. It's not so taboo as it used to be, that it's starting to be considered like drinking, if not not as bad as drinking. And so with that said, they'll hold their position and keep trading with whatever else they have, because that's only 10 or 20% of their account, and so they'll use another 10% of their account in some other day trade or whatever other technique or strategy that they're using, either for that specific stock, or that's just their strategy in general, whatever the case may be. But the whole point is that's nothing for them, so they can just sit there and wait it out, versus if you sit there and wait it out, you might not be trading for another month. You'd just be stuck in this position, and your whole strategy is day trading, but now you can't day trade because you're stuck and you don't want to take that loss, but you don't want to have to wait either, so you go ahead and take it, and you're emotional and you jump into something else not thinking clearly, and it just snowball effect on you. So now this video has gone way too long, almost 30 minutes, so I'm wrapping it up, and I'll try to do a video later on this, I guess probably won't be tomorrow. I'm working till wee hours in the morning, but Sunday evening I'll do a video based on specifically this and what's going on. So with that said, I'm gonna call it a night. I hope that somebody learned something from this. It helped somebody, and look forward to growing the channel, and thanks for the support from a few people that have subscribed and continue to watch the videos they can in their spare time. I know these videos are long, and so even if you can just bounce in and watch a few minutes of it, and bounce out, that's cool too. It's just all about growing the channel, growing as a trader, and growing is helping people become better traders, as well as myself. You ask what I get out of this, it helps me become better at trading and being more focused on and disciplined on the market. So that's my payoff, is that I get to get better insight from other traders and open up a channel of communication that they can give me their ideas and thoughts on the market, and I can give them mine. And it doesn't necessarily mean that one's right or wrong, but that I open up myself to different opportunities that I can't see, whether it's lack of experience or there's just so many stocks in the market that I had no idea that this one just came out, and this is, it's a new whatever tobacco company that's showing, very promising signs of growth and profit or whatever the case may be. So anyhow, like I said, thanks for watching. I'm gonna get some sleep. It's 3 a.m. and it's been a long day. And just trade successfully, manage your risk, and just go in with the game plan and manage risk. Your ability to manage risk is going to really determine your success in trading. And if you are unable to manage your risk, then you're probably not going to be very able to make profits, and especially consistent profits at that. So have a good night, and I will see y'all Sunday.